Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that the future of the Star Wars universe seems to be quite expansive, not just with their new books, novels, comics, and video games, but also, let's not forget about the new Star Wars TV shows, the new Star Wars movies that are currently in the works as well. That's really going to propel Star Wars in a brand new direction. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, one thing that a lot of fans have been really criticizing is, of course, the Kenobi series. Now, we all know that episodes 1 through 4 has really been an emotional roller coaster for Star Wars fans. You know, there's a lot of good and bad in this series, I will admit that. And a lot of that is rooted to the fact that a lot of the scripts that were used in the Kenobi series, a lot of it came from the original Kenobi movie that was being handled and supervised by Kathleen Kennedy, so just know about that. Also, you guys may recall that back in early 2020, Kathleen Kennedy actually was the one that initiated the rewrites for the Kenobi series. Alright, that was way earlier before they actually made that full announcement. Now, with that being said, we have a lot of shows that are set to be announced on Disney Plus Day, which is going to take place in September of this year, and then following that we have Star Wars Celebration in April of 2023 with more announcements. So, there's a lot of shows on the line and in the roadmap to look forward to. Now, on top of all of this, alright, writer Joby Harold, alright, he's been a lot more vocal lately since the fans have been getting involved with this major division within the Kenobi series. There's a lot of people that really love the show. There's a lot of people that really dislike this series to the core. That's the ultimate truth right now. A lot of hardcore fans specifically really are having a lot of issues with this series. And there's a lot of valid points in there as to why they do not like the show. And we actually went over this a couple of times about 3 days ago. Now, with that being said, however, Joby Harold recently actually got involved in an interview where he actually blamed the Star Wars fans over something very specific. Now, with the latest from the Kenobi series leaving off with episode 4, putting fans into mixed reactions over the series, however, in a recent interview with writer Joby Harold, he went on to state how he feels about the fans giving him so much criticism on the latest episode of the series. He went on to state the following: "I feel it's the fans' problems with having all of these expectations. Let's be real, Kenobi never really knew that Vader was Anakin, period. I don't know where the fans get this idea from, but Kenobi never knew that Anakin was alive. In my mind, Kenobi believed that Anakin died on Mustafar and somebody else took the role of Darth Vader. That's how I see it, and so the fans are rushing to the story and pointing fingers at me are the problem, and creating all of this negativity over nothing. Let's not rush to conclusions here. I believe everyone is going to really love what we have planned for episode 6. The people telling me that Kenobi always knew that Anakin Skywalker is alive is completely wrong, and the fanbase is twisting this way too much to make it seem like it's canon breaking. All I did as a writer was offer a different side to the story. I focused on the mindset that Obi-Wan figured that Anakin was dead after being engulfed in flames, and that somebody else took the role of Darth Vader as Palpatine's new apprentice." Now let me just stop right here for 1 second. To me, I don't know about you guys, but that still doesn't make sense. You know, the fact that, that's his mindset, that he, in writing, believes that Anakin died, Kenobi believes that Anakin died, and that somebody else took the role of Darth Vader. That's what Joby Harold admitted to how he's setting things up and why Kenobi is so surprised in the past couple of episodes about learning this revelation that Anakin is alive and is indeed Darth Vader. To me, it just doesn't make all that much sense because Palpatine wanted somebody very strong that he could turn to the dark side, and it was pretty apparent that's who he was after. Now, I don't know if you guys agree or disagree with Joby Harold. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about that, but Joby goes on to talk more about this. We'll get into that in just a second, but we have only 2 more episodes remaining between both Kenobi and the conflict with Vader, and everything to do with the character of Reva, who, by the way, I think is a very predictable character. We can already tell that she's going to turn to the light, or something around that line. It's very predictable. Let's just put it at that. Now, moving beyond all of this, alright, he goes on to say, that's how I look at it, and that's my intention for all of this. The fans like to always twist things to make it like it's the writer's fault, when in reality, it's what really existed and only waiting to actually have some minor retcons involved. To me, it's the fans' fault as to why so many other fans act this way and create this big division over nothing. We worked very hard on this show, and we are only getting started with the whole Vader and Kenobi story that's going to pick up in episodes 5 and 6. We really can't wait to show everybody all of this. To me, it's best for the fans to not get involved with how us writers and creators work. I may not be a Star Wars fan like the community is, but I do know how a writer actually is engaged in a story and how to expand existing plot pieces that have been waiting to hold new meaning. The whole Kenobi believing that Anakin was dead is nothing new. That's how this always was in the lore, even in the old Legends comics that we went over for the series. To me, the fans are the source of this big problem of causing a division, and everything that also happened with Moses Ingram, which to me was gut-wrenching. It really made me sick and sometimes makes me wonder what the fans are really like in their homes, you know? We know that these characters hold great value to the fans, and we are trying our best. It's my job to make retcons like this and make some changes and create new meaning to existing material in these shows and these films. But it truly is the fans' fault for creating the big division with this series, which is supposed to be the biggest and most fun thing for the fans yet. Now, let me just stop right here for a second. Now, the thing about Joby Harold, I don't know if you guys know Joby Harold, but he has a lot of films that were major flops. I mean, let's be honest, alright? Let's just say it how it is. Unfortunately, Joby Harold and a lot of his work was really not all that well. Now, I think that his biggest flop was the live-action Robin Hood movie. You guys can go ahead and look that up. If you guys go ahead and look up the Robin Hood movie on Rotten Tomatoes, it's pretty low on the tomato score. Let's just leave it at that. It's like 15% on the tomato meter, 40% on the audience score, and that's pretty much how all of his movies are. So, it's not a big surprise that, you know, you have a lot of consistency issues with the Kenobi series. Now, obviously, whatever Favreau and Filoni do with their projects, it comes off as pure passion, it works a lot better, and it makes a lot more sense. And I think that's why we have such a big contrast between how The Mandalorian is handled and how Kenobi is handled. Let's not forget, Favreau and Filoni had no involvement in the show as far as the script goes, let's be clear. So, everything related to Kathleen Kennedy's, you know, script of the movie transferring over to this movie, or to this series, however, that played a big role. Joby Harold played a big role in why there's a lot of problems with the series. Now, I actually think it's an entertaining series at a baseline level, but it's got a lot of flaws. I mean, I'm gonna be real. There needs to be a lot of fixing, and it does match up with what we talked about 6-7 months ago, that this series was very rushed. I don't know if you guys knew this, but filming literally only took 2 months for this show. That's it, 2 months. I believe they started in August, if I recall, and they ended in October, like late October. And that's all it was. It was a very fast shoot. It was just like that, like the snap of a finger. And I think a lot of that is over the fact of how some episodes are 35 minutes, 42 minutes, and it's really nothing if you think about it, especially if a lot of shots are not heavy on CGI. That doesn't take a lot of work to actually film. So, like I say, guys, you know, drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys have to say about all this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon we hear them moans again.